Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing really well. I just can't help but laugh and just pray to God this video comes through for me today. I filmed this video literally 3 times now. The first time my camera decided just to freeze and lose all the content. Second time I was out of focus the whole time, and then third time I finally filmed everything and then all the files were corrupted. So fourth time lucky. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm very excited to get this video filmed for you guys, and the weather was definitely a huge inspiration for me. So here in New Zealand we've had some really good little glimpses of summer weather, but New Zealand's very notorious for this. So we're in the middle of October. We know summer really doesn't start till at least December, but it always has this way of giving you little teasers of what's to come. We will have an amazing week of weather and then it's like torrential rain, some of the coldest weather we've ever had before. But I'm inspired. I'm very excited for summer. I am not a winter person at all. Of all places for me to live, I live by a mountain. So I just love summer. I get very excited. So today's video was definitely inspired from it. It's just a really nice, fresh, glowy kind of light makeup look for summer. And I also asked you guys on Instagram if you would like to see me using some cream products and how to work with them. I know a lot of people get deterred from using them because we're probably not educated as much on how to use them, how to apply them, unlike powders. So today's video is a collab sponsorship with Bondi Sands. You guys know, huge fan, huge fan. I just only use their tans and I have worked with them in the past. Today I'm going to be showing you guys this new little product that they've recently brought out. So this is the Glow Lights highlighting product. So this has really been built for cosmetic purposes only. Bondi Sands is very renowned for having body products, but this is their first cosmetic built purpose kind of product that they've brought out. So there's 3 shades in the range. You've got gold, pearl and bronze. Just like a typical cosmetic product, it's only 25 mils, which really tells you it's only built for mainly the face and the décollage in small amounts. If you want something that's going to be widely dispersed when it comes to luminosity and glow, they do have the original body glow range, which they launched about 6 months ago, and you know that's more like 100 mils. These are now available around New Zealand. You can find them in live pharmacies, Unichems, department stores, anywhere you can basically pick up Bondi Sands, and I'm sure they retail for $24.99. So I thought with you guys wanting to see cream products being applied, I would definitely show you how to work with a cream highlighter. This is the perfect product. So yeah, hopefully I can teach you guys some little tips and tricks when it comes to makeup application, but also how to apply cream products. So for priming, I'm going to be using one of my favorite primers at the moment. This is the Top Secret Instant Moisture Primer by YSL. I love this because I'm a little bit more of a dry skin type, but because I want a really kind of soft, luminous kind of finish to my skin today, this is really going to add to it. So the foundation I'm using today is the Touche Éclat by YSL. This is in the color B40 because even though I look really pasty in my face at the moment, the rest of my body is incredibly dark because I've used my Bondi Sands Ultra Dark 10. I probably did it about 4 days ago and my face has just lost all the tanning color, just naturally because I've been cleansing and toning and stuff. So I need to rebalance that color back into my face. Now this foundation typically is more of a medium to full coverage matte finish. So it kind of sounds like I'm defeating the purpose by saying I want something that's going to be lightweight, skin-like, and using a medium to full coverage foundation. So I only use about this much, just 1 pump, and then what I'm going to do is take the Bondi Sands Glow Lights in the color Pearl Light. This color definitely suits me more than the gold and the bronze, and I'm going to put about the size of a pea in there, and then I'm going to mix it up because this is going to thin out the formulation but also give that really soft glowy kind of finish. So I want an all day long lasting finish that's going to be nice and glowy without kind of sliding off my face. So that's why I've chosen to go with more of a matte foundation. I love dewy, but sometimes dewy foundations just have too much oil in them, where when your skin's natural oils come through and they hit the foundation, they generally slip off a lot faster throughout the day. So I'm going to have that kind of like matte control, but by adding in the Glow Lights Illuminator, it's just going to give that subtle kind of glow that I'm after without having a heap of oil in there, so it's going to end up sliding off throughout the day. I always like to use a wet beauty blender, especially if I'm in a hurry. I swear it gives a far quicker kind of finish. This is really my overall desired look. What I'll do is just zoom up so you guys can see what my skin looks like up close. So you can see when I move my head a little bit, you still get that really nice radiant kind of finish to my skin. And if you look really closely, you can just see a couple of little imperfections, which is kind of like an ideal scenario for what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to get that skin-like kind of finish that looks incredibly perfected. So yeah, this is what I'm kind of wanting to achieve, so I'm happy with it. So when it comes to concealing, I've fallen in love with this. This is the Shape Tape by Tarte. I can understand why everyone was raving about it when it first came out a couple of years ago. It is such a nice concealer. It's really full coverage, but doesn't give off the appearance as if it's too heavy. It's very resilient but creamy. So what I mean by that is it goes on really nicely, but then doesn't budge and it doesn't move around into fine lines, so it's not going to amplify fine lines. I always just like to look as bright as I can underneath my eyes, so I do generally go a little bit heavier with my concealer. So when it comes to getting a nice bronzy kind of finish, I really like using a cream contour. Now this one is from Huda Beauty. This is their Tantour contouring, bronzing and contouring cream. So you can use it for both purposes, and this is in the shade Light. So I like to use a really nice fluffy brush to apply this because I just find it works really nicely into the skin. So I'm going to take a little bit of the product, and I always like to buff a little bit into my wrist as well, just to get rid of any excess product. And what I like to do is, while the foundation is still a little wet, is buff a little bit of warmth into my cheekbones. So I don't go in where the hollows are, I go above on top of the cheekbones and very gently disperse product. I really don't want a lot of product on this area, so I'm just moving it around very gently, and then I'll take a little bit up through the temple just to warm it all up. I absolutely love working with cream. I think a lot of people get deterred from it because it's a little bit more scarier than just regular powder, but it really does give such a beautiful skin-like finish, and that's why I prefer it. And really, you just got to make sure you've got to go cream, 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 and then when you want to introduce powder, do it after cream. A lot of people make the mistake of mixing cream products with powder products, and that's when we get just patchy looking makeup. So always remember, if you're going to work with cream, put down the cream first because it's wet, and then set it with powders on top. You never want to interchange them. Okay, so for blush, I bloody love using cream blushes. This one is one of my favorites now. I have to admit, this one is limited edition from Lancôme. It's now not available, but there's so many brands that do something similar. It's just like a cushion blush, and I know people are going to be looking at this being like, holy shit, that is so intense, but really the trick of everything is just making sure you don't put too much on. I always say less is best, and then you can always add more. It's very difficult to take away, so always be a little bit more soft and gracious with application with something like this, and otherwise you'll be fine. So I'm actually going to take my wet beauty blender, and I'm just going to dab a little bit into that sponge, and then I'm going to add it to the apples of my cheeks. So again, this is going to work in really nicely with what I've already laid down when it comes to the previous cream contour and my blush. So I like to take it quite close to my nose and then upwards. We really create kind of like a lifted effect to the face. Whenever you lift something upwards, you're going to amplify the effect of it looking more lifted. If you take something downwards, you are going to amplify the look of it dragging down. So be cautious of where you place things and the effect that you're trying to create. Makeup definitely has its way of playing optical illusions with the face, so placement is very important. Now when it comes to applying a cream highlighter, I much prefer to use my fingers as opposed to a brush. In the past, for myself personally, I've found that brushes generally leave little streak marks, unless you use a super clean fluffy brush, but I've got so much cream going on, I just don't want to disturb anything that I've got going on underneath. So with my index finger, is it your index finger or is it just like the finger? I'm going to take it on the tip of my finger. So as I am applying, I'm really making sure I'm just patting, and by doing that I'm really preserving what I've got going on underneath rather than trying to buff it in and disturb what we've already laid down. Just be aware, if like fine lines and wrinkles are a concern, do not get too close towards those areas. Shimmer and glitter definitely has a way of amplifying fine lines, so just keep it on more of an outer area where you can feel the cheekbone just through there. And if you wanted to, you can most definitely put some in the inner corner of your eye just to give it a little bit of brightness. Now I want to make sure I'm set in certain areas as well, because as much as this is going to be beautiful and glowy, it's also going to look oily in certain places if I don't have translucent powder sitting on it. So we're just going to use a little bit today. This is the Hydra powder from by Terry, and I'm going to use a double-ended brush to apply it. And what I generally do is just stick to my T-zone. So I'm going to blot a little bit through the forehead, a little bit by my nostrils, because this is the area that can look like sweaty and oily if you're not too careful. I'm going to dab the tiniest bit underneath my eyes just to set that concealer, because if that area isn't set well as well and it's quite like oily looking or wet, that again can amplify fine lines. So we're just going to make sure that's nicely matted down, and then a little bit through my chin. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my brows. I've really been enjoying this one. This is, and I'm pretty sure I've spoken about it a couple of times, this is the Brow Styler by MAC in the color Brunette. So I just like to keep my brows super chilled out, to be fair. I just like to fill them in where they kind of need it. So I always like to just skim really gently along the baseline of my brow, and I feel like this is the one place if you just need a little bit of sharpness and shape and a little bit of a soft cleanup, the base of the brow is always where you want to kind of focus on. So I'm just going to extend the brow out the tiniest bit, and then just lift it up through the top of the brow, through the higher point of that arch, and then drag it back down through the tail. Now I like to put a little bit of Gimme Brow in from Benefit. This is a really nice volumizing brow gel. I love this one. I used number 3, which is more of a cool tone brown. So much better than the 3.5 if you ask me. The 3.5 I tried and it's very, very orangey. Okay, so moving on to eyes, I'm going to be working with the Sweet Peach palette from Too Faced. And I'm going to be using this color here called Puree. This is a really nice warm orangey brown. You can see it's one of my favorite shades. And what I do is take this big fluffy brush from Lancôme. So this is the number 17 buffing brush. So I'm going to take a little bit of that Puree shadow. So there really is a very minimal amount of the Puree shade on this brush. Again, I like to just be incredibly seamless with my application, so less application is best with how much we put on that brush, and then we can slowly build it up. So all I do is take it into that eye socket and really amplify the look of my eyes, just to make them a little bit bigger looking, give them some depth. And I kind of just go in a circular motion and a circular motion. Now I'm going to take that Puree shade with a slightly more thinner buffing brush, and we're just going to run it along that lower lash line, connecting it to the top. I'm going to be taking this shade. Now this is very optional. If you're in a rush, I highly recommend not doing this, maybe just keeping to the base shade that we've done. But I'm going to take Charmed, I'm sure, and I'm just going to add a little bit of depth to the outer corners of my eyes, just to give them a little bit more of a dimensional kind of finish. So I'm going to place this on just the outer corner of my eye. You can see where I've pressed it. It's really just going along the lash line and then slightly on the angle outwards towards the eye socket, and this just makes the eye pop a little bit more. And then from the Sweet Peach palette, again, we're going to take this color called Luscious. I'm actually going to pop this on my finger, and this way I'm going to get a far better payback when I apply it to my eyelids. So I'm just going to place this from about the center and then work my way inwards, and this is kind of this is called packing, so you're going to get a far better payoff from your eyeshadow by doing this, and it actually saves a lot of time as well. So the mascara I'm using today is by Giorgio. This is honestly so amazing. I think I'm up to my 3rd tube of it. This is Black Ecstasy, and for me personally, I really like it because I have very straight non-voluminous kind of lashes, so this really thickens up your lash and gives it a nice lifted appearance. So I'm a huge fan. Huge. So I like to put 2 coats of mascara on the top lashes, and then on the bottom. Recently I've been, rather than just taking my lashes down, I like to pull them outwards rather than going down. I don't like my eye looking too rounded, so I like to make more of an almond shape about them. So pulling the lower lashes outwards is better to give a little bit more of an almond shape rather than a round shape. Okay, so now to finish off with my lips, I'm going to be using this lipstick shade here called Beach Babe by Tarte. I really like Tarte's selection of nude lipsticks. I've got quite a few in my kit at the moment. This one is probably my preferred one for myself personally, but with this look it's a little too pinky, so I'm going to mix it with a oil tint from Nars. This is called Orgasm. It was part of the limited edition range, I'm pretty sure. And then to set it all into place, I'm going to be using the Top Secrets makeup setting spray from YSL. So there you go guys, there is today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it and maybe picked up a couple of tips and tricks when it comes to applying creams. If you've got any more questions when it comes to products like that, feel free just to drop a comment down in the comment section down below. More than happy to answer them for you. Also, please let me know. I would love to hear from you guys what you'd like to see next on my channel. I just love hearing from you guys and making sure I'm going in the right direction. Of course, I love creating content, but it's always really nice to know that I'm creating the content everyone wants to see. So yeah, of course, don't forget to go check out the new Bondi Sands Glow Lights. They are now available in Unichem's live pharmacies and department stores. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe if you want to be a part of my channel. And until next time, I will see you in my next video. Bye.